Today's gospel should have begun with a punctuation, ... Now when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. Think about those situations when you have felt compelled to withdraw from the company of people. Sometimes the situation may be good, as after this past week, when my sister brought two of her grandchildren, aged 6 and 8, to join me and my grandchildren, aged 4 and 7, for 3 days of Legos, playground, beach, baking, watercoloring, rock painting, musical instrument banging, puppet shows, and sleepovers. This followed by 3 days of kid duty when Elizabeth and Abigail's mom was called to jury duty. Yesterday, I was compelled to withdraw from the company of people. However, I think you may agree that most situations that result in the compulsion to withdraw from people are those that shock or sadden us. Situations that require us to process anger or grief. The situations might be personal, the unexpected death of a family member or a friend, for example. Or they may be broader, like the explosion of the Challenger or the Sandy Hook school massacre. What had Jesus heard that compelled him to withdraw from the company of people? It was news of the unexpected murder of his cousin and fellow prophet, John the Baptist. Imagine his shock. Imagine his need to retreat from the questions, the postulations, the doubt, the gossip surrounding this event. Imagine him fleeing to a body of water surrounded by nothing to contemplate and regroup. Then imagine your 12 disciples and 5,000 more people, besides women and children, gathered on the shore watching you. 12 people with just enough food for themselves and 5,000 plus more who had followed Jesus away from their towns and homes to this deserted place with no thought about packing a picnic lunch. If I had been in Jesus' shoes, I might have rowed that boat to the other side of the lake. The story is often titled, Jesus Feeds the 5,000. Jesus is credited with multiplying 5 loaves and 2 fish into enough food to feed the multitudes, with 12 baskets of broken pieces left over. The first and foremost lesson this story teaches us is that God is love. Despite all of the challenges that conflicted Jesus, compassion was his response. People were hungry, and he would see to that need. No looking around for the ubiquitous someone else. The second lesson is about discipleship and the responsibility that God has given us. Jesus did not feed the 5,000. He put the problem squarely on the shoulders of the disciples. You give them something to eat. God relies upon us, his disciples, to do his work in the world. We meet Jesus when we face the least, the lost, the lonely, the hungry, the thirsty, the imprisoned, with actions of love, justice, compassion, and hope. Third, this story reminds us that when we need it most, God will give us the power to do the work he has given us to do with gladness and singleness of heart. Fourth, this story brings forward the power of hope. Single, simple acts of kindness or small productive actions can move one person or a community from darkness to light. The story is full of action words. Jesus saw, he had compassion, he ordered, he took, he looked, he blessed, broke, and gave. According to this story, thousands of people could have faced a long, uncomfortable night, hungry and far removed from usual resources. Through the gift of a simple meal, Jesus gave them hope for a new tomorrow, even if they did not know what that tomorrow would look like. The promise is that if we join in community to serve the common good, that if we act together in love with compassion and faithfulness, that God will be with us. It is not a promise that life will be forever rosy, free of pain and conflict. God reaches out to open hearts, even when hearts seem incapable of finding a way. I am reminded of an address given by retired United States Navy Admiral William H. McRaven at the University of Texas at Austin, class of 2014 commencement ceremony. And you can look his talk up at YouTube. I encourage you to listen to it. I consider this the best modern list of rules for discipleship. The Admiral said, "If I have learned anything, it is the power of hope. The power of one person. One person can change the world by giving people hope. Know that life is not fair, that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generation that follows will live in a world far better than the one we have today." Amen.